We are at RIA Edge West, and I'm really excited to be chatting with Vanessa Martinez, CEO and President of Expressive Wealth.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
So we are going to talk about big picture question today. I'm sure maybe you're part of this conversation as well. I'm just getting to know you, so I don't know the record here.
Oh,
but there's
just
a lot.
wait.
There's a lot of talk in the industry as a whole about how do we advance financial literacy, right? Like how do we help the general population understand money better? There's a lot of advisors who talk about the need to get that into schools and all that type of thing. My question is is it actually the responsibility of this industry to handle that? How much does advancing financial literacy need to rest in this profession to spearhead it versus someone else to take the reins?
Well, I think everyone needs to take the reins. If you have the knowledge, you should be sharing it. And that's in absolutely every topic. More importantly, to make systemic changes, it needs to start somewhere, which could be your family.
Yeah.
Right? I think too many times the saying of the shoemaker always has the worst shoes on, and that's because we're so busy making shoes.
Yeah.
I think in our financial industry, we're so busy about making sure all the pieces are connected with the families that we forget about our team, maybe our own family. So if you have relatives, are you talking about it with them? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're like, I might be tired with work. But I think just sharing it with everyone is the way to do it.
Yeah. So you start at the kitchen table.
Yes.
And you kind of go out from there.
Yep.
So so financial literacy, add to the list of topics at the Thanksgiving table that you guys can talk about.
Yes,
with
any
everybody.
table, all the tables.
No, I love that. So I think for me, as you're saying that, absolutely makes total sense. But then how do we kind of get everybody around that kind of idea, right? Does that need to almost become a staple of learning to be an advisor? Is hey, this is part of the expectation. Is it's not just to work with your clients, but to kind of help as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think it should be, but then you can't make someone a teacher, right?
Right.
There's some of us that are just born with it or really enjoy it. And if we want people to really learn about finance, you have to be passionate about wanting to share it.
Yeah.
So I would say if you are that person, then yes. But if you're not, hopefully someone else on your team can be that for you. Do I believe it lands on your lap?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of should, because if you were gifted the knowledge, right, and you worked hard to build this, why not share? But I'm just sharing is caring type of personality. And you started with the kitchen table, but it also can lean into if you're a faith believer, right? Do it at church. Why don't you do seminars at church and there's so many other places where we can teach financial literacy that will build a grander scheme of it all.
Yeah.
You just have to take the step forward.
Or even if you have kids at your school, volunteer and be like, hey, I'll just come in for 20 minutes during one class.
Yes. I mean, we know we need it in school.
Yeah.
But in the end, we're looked upon as the parent, and they do need it from us. As much as having it from school would be great, they definitely need it from us as well.
Yeah. Another question. Devil's advocate here, right? So does the profession still, wealth industry, kind of gets lumped into in the general mindset at times with that old school Wall Street broker, that whole thing, right? So is the industry, and we all see the stats about how much advisors are trusted type of thing. Is there public trust that needs to kind of be built up in order for these things to really take root? Or does that public trust come from just more of these kind of individual conversations that you're talking about?
It's the one bad apple ruins the bunch type of thing.
Yeah.
It does take time, but I believe that if you are truly looking for someone's best interest, as soon as you have a one-on-one conversation with someone, they will see the genuineness in you wanting to teach them. So unfortunately, as much as we would love for the news to say advisors are so great, I don't know if that will happen ever.
Yeah.
But we can do it for ourselves. So I do believe that smaller groups allows people to be vulnerable
Oh, for sure.
and share those pieces, as long as you as the advisor are self-aware of knowing when you're being that person that allows that vulnerability to come out.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I feel like we could keep this going for a
Yes.
while, but I promise to keep the videos short this week. So maybe we'll sync back up for a longer
Sounds good.
conversation sometime. But Vanessa, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for
Appreciate you
having
taking time out. See you soon.